It is the Vault XL. Thank you so much for joining me. This commentary is a very serious subject matter pertaining to HIV. There is a new source of information from Commercial Appeal pertaining to an uptick of cases in Shelby County, which sits inside of Memphis, Tennessee. Thank you for joining me. There's an HIV outbreak in Memphis. Public health officials are silent on the numbers. What are the numbers? We will wait to see. There is an alarming increase in the number of new positive HIV tests in Shelby County. That's all the public knows. The extent of the outbreak has not been quantified for the public. Will they divulge the numbers? That's what I want to know. The Shelby County Health Department posted a notice of the increase in cases online on May 13th and highlighted the zip codes where the increases have been detected. So they all start with 38, okay, and a 1, 381. So if you're in these districts, this is where the highest upticks are. 103, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 114, 118, 126, and 127. So the area codes start off with 381. So if you're in 38127, 38126, these are the numbers. 103, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 114, 118, and 126 and 127. Beyond that, Shelby County residents do not have access to the exact data that would consensualize the uptick. The steward of such health data is the Tennessee Department of Health. Community organizations that provide HIV testing file the results with the State Department. The most recent HIV surveillance data published on TDOH's website, data that captures the rates of positive HIV test results, is current through 2021, which is not good because we're now in 2024. Significant lag time between collecting data and publishing data is normal in Tennessee's health infrastructure, just as it is with the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. But enough preliminary information has been collected to establish there is a need to alert the public. TDOH did not respond to multiple requests for comment. The Shelby County Health Department declined to comment beyond a statement similar the department's alert for the public. Okay? This isn't good. Mitigation strategies for the outbreak, testing, prevention, and treatment are in progress, according to the health department's release, but what exactly the plan is for harm reduction is also unclear. The United Way of Nashville is the administrator of the CDC's Ending the HIV Epidemic program for Tennessee. They also manage nonprofit community partners that conduct HIV testing and harm reduction. United Way is in charge of organizing a strategic response to the HIV outbreak. A representative for the United Way declined to comment and instead referred all inquiries to the county health department. Wow, wow, wow. Now, this talks about a disruption of services for Planned Parenthood. This is what Planned Parenthood has to say pertaining to the disruption. And we just got a reopening of the Planned Parenthood here in Knoxville, Tennessee, but there will be no abortions naturally because abortions are illegal here in the state of Tennessee. Planned Parenthood of Tennessee and North Mississippi was able to provide context about events that preceded the HIV outbreak and what a mitigation strategy might look like. In January 2023, nonprofit organizations were blindsided by the state's decision to cut funding from the CDC that is distributed to community partners for HIV prevention, detection, and treatment programs. Wow, and I'm going to bring you that information as well about Tennessee cutting funds to this state for HIV prevention. Moving forward, the state said at the time, Tennessee would forego any funds from the CDC and replace those dollars with state funding. The bucket of funding, the state said, would not be distributed to any organization not formally affiliated with a metro health department. The state's decision to do so occurred mid-grant cycle for many of the affected organizations, leaving nonprofit administrators scrambling to cover the loss of funds. Eventually, in an unheard of move, the CDC opted to distribute the council funding directly to nonprofits that provided HIV testing and harm reduction services. Over a year later, Ashley Caulfield, president and CEO of Planned Parenthood of Tennessee and North Mississippi, pointed to this upheaval as a significant factor that led up to the current outbreaks. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. It's looking bad. It caused tremendous chaos when the governor, Bill Lee, administration took matters into his own hands instead of following CDC's priorities, Caulfield said. So, Governor Bill Lee, what's your problem? You see that there's a problem, an epidemic. So what's your malfunction? What is your malfunction? Do you not care about the great Tennesseans here? Do you not care about the people in Tennessee, their health issues? What's your problem? The fracas caused a disruption in services for many providers, and valuable labor and funds were spent figuring out a workaround. Community outreach, education, condom distributions, and other preventive measures managed by nonprofits took a hit. Coupled with the ramifications of Tennessee's gateway law, a law that forbids any mention of sexual activity that could be considered a gateway to sexual intercourse and instead mandates sex education, focus on abstinence, the current HIV outbreak is of little surprise, Caulfield said. So this is interesting information to me as well, that this Tennessee's gateway law forbids any mention of sexual activity that could be considered a gateway. Well, talking about HIV and AIDS is not, to me, a gateway. It's talking about what's already then happened. That's past. When you're talking about who got it, contracted it, where they got it, the stats, that's old news. That's something that's already transpired. The people already got the HIV, the AIDS, venereal diseases, whatever. So how's that a gateway? A gateway will be promoting sex, unsafe sex, sex with different people, not using protection. Does that make any sense? Okay? Once again, the gateway law forbids any mention of sexual activity that could be considered a gateway to sexual intercourse and instead mandates sex education, focus on abstinence. The current HIV outbreak is of little surprise, Caulfield said. For now, as community organizations strategize on immediate measures to reduce the chances of the outbreak worsening, Planned Parenthood, along with other nonprofits, is focusing on the same prevention measures that took a hit over the last year. Testing for HIV is free and readily available in organizations across Memphis, and the county health department has extended its testing hours. A list of those facilities is available in the health department's website. Commercial appeal is the source. Let's go into the belly of the beast and see what the hell is going on in this great state of Tennessee. And Governor Bill Lee, we're calling out for you to aid, to administer some type of structure, guidance. Because my thing is, one, you can't tell people what to do. They're going to do what they want, whether it be a child or an adult. If they want to have sex with this one, that one, a cat, a dog, a monkey, 5 people in the bedroom, no condoms, that is their choice. But something has to be done because now Shelby County is saying they have an uptick. They're not giving the numbers. So you're back to square one. You have a problem and it needs to be addressed. So it is what it is. HIV rates in Shelby County are among the worst in the country. This was uploaded about a year ago. ABC 24 Memphis is the source. Thank you for joining me. I'm also going to bring you content of people who have had HIV and are no longer HIV. Positive. Thank you.
That this funding is being cut is going to be devastating.
Hold on one second. Get this to the beginning. All right.
Shelby County ranks 3rd in the country in new HIV infection rates. And earlier this year, the state of Tennessee announced it would no longer be accepting CDC funds to help with HIV testing and treatment. Shelby County Mayor Lee Harris called this move disastrous for the community and could potentially harm one of the areas with the worst risks of HIV in the country. Our Stephen Reels joins us live from out Memphis. Stephen, we understand that some of the services there could be in jeopardy.
Yeah, Pepper, I'm at one of their clinics right now where they don't just test for HIV, but they connect people with resources in case they do test positive. I'm about to test in just a minute, but all of this could be at risk, which is why Out Memphis is trying to be part of the solution.
The fact that this funding is being cut is going to be devastating to the community.
Community leaders coming together today after the state of Tennessee chose to refuse $9 million from the CDC in HIV treatment.
Our organization did receive a letter from the state.
All right, this is a year ago. Governor Bill Lee, explain to the Queen why you would not take $9 million. Why? What logical explanation do you have? You're saying what? You want local health departments in Tennessee to aid in the fight against HIV, or you rather have money to go towards abstinence programs. The point is, you still cannot tell people not to have sex. You cannot tell people not to have sex, not to have sex with this person, that person. You can't make the people wear condoms, protection. Naturally, you can have accidents wearing condoms. They can break. So I'm trying to understand why you would not take money from the CDC of all people. You want to focus on educational programs. Well, in the end, it's still up to a parent, if it's in the schoolhouse, if they want their child to participate in those programs. So imagine you're going to implement programs around the state to talk about abstinence. You still have to get permission from the parents because some people do not want people talking to their children about sex. So some might say that'd be a waste of money to have programs to say, don't do that. Keep your penis in your pants. Keep your vajayjay locked up. But the parents are saying, hey, you ain't got to worry about that because I don't want you, a random person, talking to my kid about sex. So you're back to square one. Explain to me why you would not take $9 million. Help me understand.
Terminating our relationship May 31st. That letter came to us yesterday.
Out Memphis Executive Director Molly Quinn says the organization will be losing around $140,000 they were counting on to pay for HIV test treatment and care. Friends for Life is another group being affected. They say this decision could cause them to lose $1.5 million in funding. So together with other community-based organizations, they have formed the HIV Equity Coalition.
We've come together to try to figure out ways to work around this. And if we can work around the state, that's what we'll do.
In order to do this, the coalition is asking for the CDC to donate to different organizations who would then pass it along to places like Out Memphis.
We encourage the CDC to go through United Way of Nashville to be able to just continue that relationship with all the CBOs that they were working with. Dr. Taylor with the county said, they would be willing to facilitate those funds.
So Out Memphis holds these clinics 3 times a week. Like I said, I'm going to show you how quick and easy it is to get tested. I'm with Janiyah right now, who's going to be performing the test live on air. They're just sterilizing my finger right now to make sure it is good and ready to go. A little massage to get the blood flowing. And as you can see, not a big needle, just a concealed thing that they're just going to prick my finger with right now. Barely felt a thing. Not too much blood, so if you don't like needles, it's pretty good to try that out. Now they're just dabbing it up so they can test it. And believe it or not, it can be over in just 20 minutes or so. I'll give you potentially the results.
Testing the finger. Never thought that.
For now, at Out Memphis, I'm Stephen Reels.
All right, so he did a test and they pricked the finger. So I assume they would draw blood from your arm. So interesting, very interesting. Once again, Governor Bill Lee of Tennessee, where the Queen lives, why would you not take $9 million? This content was uploaded a year ago. Please help me understand. You're trying to focus on outreach programs, I guess, through the state. So what are you saying? You all had $9 million floating around the state of Tennessee for programs to help deter HIV. Well, obviously, whatever you had, it didn't work, or you wouldn't have this outbreak down here in Memphis, because it goes to what I just said. You can't stop people from sleeping with people. You can't stop people from not using protection. Using protection. People are people. I just don't understand why you wouldn't take money that could help different programs in the state. So basically what you're saying is what? You want people to only rely on the health department to give them care for sexual situations, sexual testing, disease, outreach. You want the health department to be the only organization doing this. This is a long state, sir. Maybe you haven't traveled the state. And you do have some strict laws right now in the book pertaining to Tennessee, with children laws, parents taking accountability for the children, finding them if their children commit crimes after the first offense. wanting businesses to post signs of trans people who are using the restrooms, which some businesses did not want to do that. They don't want the problem. They want the flack. I get that. Then two, who wants to be watched while going to the restroom? But then some people like me who have a right to say, I don't want a man in the restroom, whether he's dressed up like a woman or not, trans or had the surgery, whatsoever. You understand what I'm saying? But naturally, if you're going to the bathroom, you're trying to get in and get out. So we got some strict laws here in Tennessee. Yes, we do. And I'm going to bring you some of those laws shortly. Got a new drag racing law that's in effect. Oh, Bill Lee, he ain't playing. You got to walk the tightrope here in Tennessee. And I hear and seen some content lately of people saying they don't want to be here. They don't want to live here. People who are homosexual, trans. Hey, Tennessee's not the state for me. I got to go. They got strict laws. Hell yeah, this is the Bible Belt. Where do you think you at? This is the Bible Belt. Still old world mentality here. Got a lot of people who are gay, trans, out, fancy free. They like a man, a woman, a cat, a dog, a monkey. But Governor Bill Lee said, I don't care. It's my way or the highway. Politics. Politics. All right. I'm also going to bring you content about HIV on the rise in Memphis, Tennessee. That's uploaded just a month ago. Tennessee to cut federal dollars to treat HIV conversation that I was just speaking about. Thank you so much for joining me. What a hot butter mess. Got a few viewing. Thank you so much for your time. This is live number 2. Please check out my earlier live pertaining to Seth Rodgers, the Proudfoots, Tony Mathis, and the Unicorns. And them dirty YouTubers. Shut your mouth. It's the Queen, baby. Live number 2, everybody.
Is cutting off federal funding meant to help prevent, test, and treat HIV in the state. That is according to the state's Department of Health. In an email reviewed by NBC News, the Department of Health in Tennessee said it would instead rely on its own state funds, and that's set to begin in June. We have NBC News medical reporter Erica Edwards, who's been following this story closely for us. So, Erica, first, let's start off with why would Tennessee do this? Why would they refuse federal money? And what is the actual potential impact for people living with HIV?
Damn crazy.
Hey, Vicki, this would have an enormous impact. Shelby County, Tennessee, which is where Memphis is located, has one of the highest rates of HIV and AIDS in the entire country. Without funding for testing and treatment, the state faces the possibility of a major outbreak. Now, as to your question of why
that's a year ago.
Do this, that's a little murkier. I mean, this is federal grant money. It's free to the state. But state health officials have said that they want to, rely on their own funds. Some suspect, of course, that this is politically motivated. Planned Parenthood, that serves Tennessee, is one of the groups that would be affected.
What has been the response, if any, from the federal government in terms of Tennessee's decision now to turn down essentially free money, which you just don't hear of this happening?
Well, first of all, the CDC tells me that the state of Tennessee has not formally told them that they are going to reject this grant money. If that were to happen, the CDC said to me in a statement that it would certainly be concerned if the services people in Tennessee need to stay healthy were interrupted, or if public health capacity to respond to HIV outbreaks and bring an end to this epidemic were hindered. Vicki, at this point, those funds could run out by the end of May.
All right, NBC News medical reporter Erica Edwards. Erica, thank you.
All right, everybody. That's content from NBC a year ago. So Governor Bill Lee, I'm going to go in here and check and see what you've done, because I was looking for videos in the YouTube queue and I couldn't find anything recently where Mr. Lee is trying to take money. So we're going to Google search. This is ridiculous. Don't have time for the nonsense, honey. Take that on somewhere else. So this is from probably a year ago. In January, the Lee administration announced that the beginning in the new fiscal year, which starts June 1st, it would block all $6.2 million of the CDC HIV funding, plus a separate $2.1 million annual federal grant for HIV prevention and treatment in Shelby County, home to Memphis. And that was last year, April 2023. Why not? This makes no sense to me. Why would you block the money? For what fucking reason? So it said Tennessee blocked $8 million for HIV, now ends up with $13 million. Stunning advocates. The state on Thursday passed $9 million in state funding for HIV prevention, surveillance, and treatment, adding to $4 million in federal funds from the CDC. So obviously they took $4 from the CDC. This was last April. So it says, in a turnaround that is stunned and pleasantly surprised HIV advocates, Tennessee has gone from blocking $8.3 million in annual federal funds for HIV prevention, surveillance, and treatment to including a new allotment of $9 million in the state budget approved Thursday to combat the virus. This development came from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, announcing on Monday that it will circumvent the state government and continue providing about $4 million in HIV prevention funds to Tennessee nonprofit groups, despite Governor Bill Lee's objections. The state has one of the nation's most poorly controlled HIV epidemics. Now you got to ask yourself, why? So, Bill Lee, you tried to save face a bit, but what are you going to do now? Because it's a new year, and now we're getting information from Memphis, Tennessee, that there's an uptick of cases, and they're not giving us the numbers. Now, the content I've just read you here from NBC News was a year ago, per what I just played on this device. That was a year ago, also NBC News. And you heard somebody saying in that commentary a year ago, there's going to be an outbreak. And now it's a year later, and there's an outbreak. And they're not giving us the numbers. So, sir, what are you going to do now? How much money do you have now left in the pot for, what is this? Prevention, surveillance, and treatment. So what is the surveillance? Somebody typing in the computer, putting in HIV 1, HIV 2, so on and so forth. Somebody's putting it in after a person is tested positive. That's what surveillance is. They're writing it down, typing it into the computer. Oh, Sue, Sally, Jane Doe has HIV. Then they type in another. You know, I'm not trying to be cynical, but hey, par for the course. Sometimes people are honorary. And as you hear in that commentary I just played by NBC, politics, exactly. I don't want anybody thinking I don't have control of my great state. I got to show them I can come up with the money. I can find the money. Who the hell turns down good damn money? If the CDC wanted to give you 9, 10, 13, you should have took every damn dollar. The hell you talking about? We'll go dig in our pots. The people in Tennessee, they like everybody else. They love to complain about what they don't want to pay for. I'm a taxpayer. They're always fucking complaining. So somebody's offering you free damn money, a big old pot of it, but you don't want to take it. Why not? That's stupid. But you let them give you $4 million. You're not too bright, bro. You're not too bright at all. All right. Now it says this development came after the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention announced on Monday that it will circumvent the state government and continue providing the $4 million in HIV prevention funds to Tennessee nonprofit, once again, despite Governor Bill Lee's objection and the state having the nation's most poorly controlled HIV epidemics. Lee previously singled out the Tennessee Transgender Task Force and Planned Parenthood to be defunded from the CDC's HIV prevention grant to the state. So why did you want to defund them? Transgender Task Force and Planned Parenthood. Why? Because Planned Parenthood exacted abortions? You have a problem with abortion, sir? Is that what this is all about? The president of the task force, Ray Holloman, expressed hope that a cumulative $13 million budget will be used to benefit the most vulnerable and at-risk populations. But he shared HIV experts' concerns that the new state funds, which will support county health departments and nonprofit groups, might not be spent wisely. Jay Byers, a lead spokesperson, said the $9 million in new state funding to combat HIV would recur and allow Tennessee to provide better services and reach even more at-risk populations in the state, such as victims of human trafficking, mothers of children, and first responders. But none of these groups experience substantial HIV transmissions, the majority of which occur among gay and bisexual men, both in Tennessee and nationally. Blacks and Latinos are particularly at risk, which we've heard this a lot of times, and, are at risk, as are trans individuals and people who inject drugs. Tony Newman, a director of the HIV advocacy nonprofit organization NMAC, called the new state funds a step forward. Okay. Now let's go down here where it says, in recent years, the CDC has granted Tennessee $6.2 million annually for HIV prevention and surveillance, delivering the money to the state health department. The state has then sent about $4 million of the funds to the United Way of Greater Nashville, which has in turn distributed the cash to various community-based organizations fighting HIV. The remaining $2 million or so of the CDC grant has supported surveillance of HIV in Tennessee. In January, the Lee administration announced, this was last year, everybody, that beginning in the new fiscal year, which starts June 1st, it would block the $2 million of CDC HIV funding plus a separate $2.1 million annual federal grant for HIV prevention and treatment in Shelby County, home to Memphis. Outraged HIV advocates and experts said Lee's move would spawn a public health crisis. CDC estimates that new HIV cases declined nationally by 8% from 2015 to 2019, a statistic that masks heady progress in some states and either stagnancy or increases in most of the South, where the bulk of transmissions occur. And a lot of people probably did not know that a lot of HIV cases are here in the dirty South, if you did not know that. And this has been going on for some years, higher cases here in the South. Even as liberal states such as New York, California have invested heavily in fighting the virus and seeing substantial declines, the CDC estimates that Tennessee's transmissions increased somewhat from 2017 to 2019. A February NBC News investigation into the governor's motivation for blocking the funds traces origins in least in part to attacks on Vanderbilt University's care for transgender children by far-right media stars, including the Daily Wire's Matt Walsh. These attacks triggered a chain reaction that, fueled by Republican animus towards Planned Parenthood, gathered steam and ultimately politicized the Tennessee Health Department's HIV prevention efforts. Walsh and the Daily Wire did not respond to NBC's request for comment. Planned Parenthood declined to comment. Along with the cadre of national and state HIV organizations, NMAC has spent the past 3 months lobbying the CDC to ensure funding continuity. On Monday, the CDC announced plans for an end run around the Tennessee Health Department, pledging to deliver $4 million in HIV grant funds directly to the United Way during the next fiscal year. In January, Representative Steve Cohen, a Democrat representing Memphis, sent a letter to the Health and Human Services Secretary Xavier Becerra asking the agency to circumvent the Tennessee Health Department and provide a $2.1 million federal grant directly to Shelby County. The Memphis area has the nation's third highest HIV diagnosis rate, the CDC reports. Now, this was a year ago, okay? And it just goes on to talk about what was going on in Memphis. It's been winded. I don't know what to say. Okay. So last year, Friends for Life, an $8.5 million Memphis nonprofit that provides HIV prevention and treatment services, faced losing their nearly $500,000 in CDC grant funding, according to Maya Cotton, its chief programs officer. Without a federal contract, the organization also would have become ineligible for $1.2 million in annual pharmaceutical rebates. Now the nonprofit will receive a windfall of $891,000 from the state, plus continued CDC funding, which will maintain its rebate eligibility. Cotton expressed relief and gratitude over this reversal of fortune. It is important to note, however, that unless we all work together, Cotton said, alluding to the governor's determination to detach the state's spending from the CDC, new transmission of HIV will not be contained. That's the point. But you can't stop people from having sex. I said it 1,000 times. So this is all seems political, they're saying. Far-right media stars. Well, let me say this to Governor Bill Lee and whomever else. Put your big boy panties on and act like an adult. You can't be worried about who's doing what, who's rallying over here, who's a liberal, this and that. That has nothing to do with people dying, getting sick. Anybody can get HIV. Anybody can get AIDS. Anybody can get a venereal disease. That's the message you should be sending to the public. Anybody can get it. You don't use protection. Your protection doesn't work. Be it a pill, or IUD, whatever. Something malfunctions. You malfunction. You have the risk of getting this disease. That's just common sense. Let's talk about curing HIV. Thank you for joining me. ABC News is the source, everybody. Oh, Lord have mercy. Where do we go? What some people need to understand about why we have all these cases is just the obvious. People having sex with different people, infected people, and the fact that, as I watched a report on The View many years ago, a lot of people were deemed not monogamous here in the South. Why, I don't know. I've seen it with my own eyes. I'm 53. I can speak from experience. A lot of the men here and women do not want to be in relationships. They do not want to be with one partner. They're swinging. They're doing this and that. Escapades. Once again, you're grown. You do what you want. But common sense should tell you once you sleep with a person unprotected, you have the risk of getting anything. You cannot trust that this person is going to take care of himself or herself. And if you have multiple partners simultaneously, you should know you have a risk of getting a venereal disease or HIV. But it's sad to hear that the South was deemed, unmonogamous place to live. That people here don't want commitments, don't want to be in a monogamous relationship. But as I said, I can speak from personal experience. A lot of the men here, they don't want to be in a monogamous relationship. They are married, they have girlfriends, they have baby mamas, they have all kind of shit going on. They're black, they're white, they're tall, they're fat, they're short, educated, uneducated, inmates, criminals, however, homeless, don't matter. They do not want to be with one woman. And I have talked to men who just cannot keep their penis in their pants. They have got to be over here, over here, over here. They don't care who it is, what she look like, where she come from. They don't care. And it's just sad. Hello, darling. Thank you so much. So what can you do? As I just said, you can't make people do what you think they should do. If they want to have sex, they're going to have sex. If they want to have multiple partners, they will. If they want to have menage a trois, whatever the number is, they will. They want to pick up some strange kitty cat, ding dong, down the street, on vacation, go out of town, after the club, whatever. And the date sites probably don't help either. Because now this is an easy way to pick up people without even having to go out and look for them. You're feeling horny, you want a little kitty cat, you just go on the date site, put up a profile, say hi, how you doing, make fake small talk. Next thing you know, hey, can I come to your house? You can come to mine. Next thing you know, boom. Having sex, no protection. Boom, there's your problem. And we have a lot of that now. So I won't doubt that a lot of the uptick is probably because of, one, down low men not wanting to be monogamous, women not wanting to be monogamous, people having flings. They're grown. Young people. One article I read just before I went live, the age uptick in Memphis was 14 to 35. So now you're sitting here thinking, damn, children having sex? And as I said in my live stream last night, talking about homosexuality, I don't agree with children having sex. A child has no business having sex. Life is already hard enough. Being a child is hard enough. A child doesn't need to be having sex with anyone. To me, that's a jump off to a problem. Children having sex with other children, children having sex with adults, children being molested, trafficked, sold, whatsoever, prostituted, run away, God forbid, to get on drugs, need a place to sleep. Now, that's a new problem. That's why children don't need to be having sex. You're not emotionally equipped to have sex. Some of us are not emotionally equipped to have sex, okay? Let's keep it real. You lie down with a person, you think what? Everything's going to be great? Yeah, the sex may be great, but not what comes with it, such as catching something and or emotionally getting attached to the sex, okay? We're going to keep it real. And that's a problem. That's why I said having sex isn't what people think. Oh, yeah, it feels good, but there's things that come along with it, ramifications, such as catching something, getting some warts, getting some sores, getting trichomonas or whatever, gonorrhea, HIV. Then you're sleeping with somebody else and you don't even know you got something. Then you pass to this person. Then they're giving you something, you don't know what they got. They may not have anything, visible downtown. That's because it's internal. ABC News is the source.
An emergency medicine physician, Dr. Darian Sutton, joins me now to discuss this. Dr. Sutton, good to see you. So HIV.gov says more than 38 million people in 2021 globally are living with HIV. Of that 38 million, 1.2 million in the U.S. are living with the virus.
Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute.
After stopping his HIV medications for more than 4 years, it's worth noting that this patient joins a small group of people who have been said to be cured of HIV under extreme circumstances. ABC News medical contributor and emergency medicine physician Dr. Darian Sutton joins me now to discuss this.
Researchers announced this person got a stem cell transplant. Don't know much about that, but just imagine having HIV for years and then one day you don't show any symptoms. And I have heard of this. People taking the drugs and medicines don't show signs of HIV. So I'm assuming it would be some years of taking the meds concurrently without fault to allegedly eradicate the symptoms of HIV in your blood.
Dr. Sutton, good to see you. So HIV.gov says more than 38 million people in 2021 globally are living with HIV. Of that 38 million, 1.2 million in the U.S. are living with the virus. Walk us through how this patient was apparently cured of HIV.
And good afternoon, Alexis. This is another
crazy.
breakthrough.
38 million, 21.
And decades, of research that have been done to find a cure for HIV. In this particular case, this was a 53-year-old male who had been previously diagnosed with HIV. In 2011, he was unfortunately diagnosed with leukemia, for which he was given chemotherapy and a stem cell transplant. Now, what's important about this case is that his stem cell transplant came from a donor who was naturally resistant against HIV. Many may not know, but there's a small percentage of the population that don't have the receptors needed for HIV to bind and cause infection. And after that transplant, this patient then began to develop new and healthy cells. And as you said, since 2018, he's not needed any HIV medication or treatment and has been continuously tested. And there have been no detectable signs of the HIV virus, which is incredibly, this is what makes it remarkable and a breakthrough.
Yeah, truly remarkable. But I know this treatment is not one that everyone with HIV can undergo, right? There are some risks and some limitations here.
Stem cell transplants are an incredibly risky procedure.
Wow.
Right now, they are only retained for those who absolutely need it with life-threatening conditions, for example, like leukemia. With stem cell transplants, patients do need chemotherapy to get rid of the dysfunctional and diseased cells, but that can cause significant immune suppression, which can make patients susceptible to life-threatening infections. There's also the risk that stem cell transplants can be rejected from patients, which can also be life-threatening. So hopefully more research comes where we can get a possible treatment or cure without the risk associated with something like this.
But, as the world races to end the HIV epidemic, Doctor, HIV and AIDS treatments and prevention continues to advance, right? There are so many resources available, thankfully. Two of the biggest ones are called PEP and PrEP. Can you break that down for us?
Absolutely. So thanks to modern medication, people with HIV can live long and healthy lives. And thanks to medication, those who consistently take it and are undetectable will not transfer it to their sexual partners. And like you said, we also have medications for prophylaxis or prevention. We call it PrEP, or pre-exposure prophylaxis. It's a medication that, if taken daily, can significantly reduce one's chances of getting infected with HIV. And we also have PEP, which is post-exposure prophylaxis. And that is for patients who may have a high-risk interaction that come into the emergency room, and that medication I can provide and prescribe that can substantially still reduce their risk after the intervention that might have caused their exposure.
And when we talk about the medicines that allow people living with HIV to live a healthy life, there's something called undetectable equals untransmittable. Remind us what that means and why it's important.
such an important thing to remember. It has been dedicated research has been done to understand this concept, and we now understand that
undetectable equals untransmittable. U equals U. An HIV plus person who takes HIV meds as prescribed can reduce amount of HIV in their blood to a level a test can't detect. Okay?
Those who have HIV, who consistently take their medication and are consistently undetectable, cannot transfer it to their sexual partners. Now, that means that people who are healthy and living their well lives and taking their medications regularly cannot produce that risk.
That's a low viral load in the blood system. Very interesting.
Their sexual and intimate partners, and that is something that unfortunately is not well known, and I'm hopeful that more people will understand it to hopefully decrease the stigma associated with this diagnosis.
Dr. Darian Sutton, thank you.
All right, ABC News is the source. So the thing what you have to ask yourself is how long do you have to take the medicine so you can be undetectable and untransmittable to other people? How long do you have to take these meds, this PrEP med? Because they're saying you take it, you can not pass it to others, your partner or whomever. So how long do you have to take these meds? Because naturally, I don't think you're just going to start taking it today and then poof, think you can just go out here and start having sex tomorrow unprotected and not pass the HIV. The commentary speaks of a 53-year-old male who contracted leukemia in 2011. 7 years later, he got the transplant, the stem plant, because naturally he had a life-threatening disease, leukemia, and somehow he was able to go undetected. But they said that the surgery is very risky, so they don't recommend it, the stem plant, unless it's life or death, I guess. But I've heard information about people being undetected who've had HIV. They had it, and then they're taking their meds and been taking the meds for a while, and then it's not detectable, which that is a wonderful thing. So thank God for technology, scientists, and funding, because without funding, you can't get to this stage of being undetectable, sustaining life. Because you go back 40-something years, men were dying from HIV and AIDS, horrible symptoms. I know someone personally, a male, we were friends, and he died from the virus. His mother ended up telling me, he died from the package. And let me tell you, when I last saw him right before death, he was a very small person. Because he was always a small person. He never, carried a lot of weight, but he looked horrible. And it's just a thought of, when I saw him, I thought, dear God, what's wrong with him? And of course, naturally, that came to mind. He must have what. And then later, after the funeral, the mother confided and told me that he did have it. But it's just terrible, because who knows what he endured, because he looked horrible. Very frail, face gaunt, teeth protruding, because naturally you don't have any structure, you don't have any, there's nothing, just no life there. You know what I'm saying? Your color's gone, skin's fading, splotchy. And God knows what else the skin is doing, because we hear that they usually get lesions in the final stages of AIDS. The virus has infiltrated the body. But now we have better testing, meds, scientists. And if you are adamant about preserving your life and you are one of the lucky people to get the meds, you can sustain living and also still have relationships with people. Naturally, you'd want to tell them, you're HIV positive, as not to pass it to the person. I don't know. They never said how much the medicine is. That's what I'm saying. We learned, many moons ago, the medicines were very expensive, HIV meds, but they might be more affordable now. I'm not really sure, so don't quote me on that. But what I found interesting in this information is 38 million people had HIV in 2021. And when I was looking up content for this live, 2021 was the last time that there was maybe a count of an exact number of people living with HIV. So here we have this content saying the same thing, 38 million. That's still a lot of people for 2021, and we're now in 2024. Now you're sitting here talking about an epidemic, an outbreak in Memphis, in this great state of where the Queen is. I'm about 6 hours away from Memphis, Tennessee. I'm in East Tennessee. Memphis is at the bottom of the state, sitting on top of Mississippi. And obviously there are people down there just free falling. And like I said, we're all human. We all make mistakes. People trust people easily. Hello, Pinto. Thank you for joining me, dear. Where were you in the last live? Didn't see you last few hours ago, dear. Check out the Queen's content. This is live number 2, everybody. This content is pertaining to Memphis, Tennessee. Shelby County has an uptick of HIV cases. There were many zip codes that the Queen mentioned during this live stream. And trust me, it's more than 5, it's more than 6 zip codes down there. It's not good. And this is what these people were saying in this content. You don't get the help you need here in Tennessee. Our government is, stalling on trying to get help from the CDC, not taking all the money. You're talking about lives at stake. Put your big boy panties on and do what's right. Just because you don't have HIV or you don't think you can get HIV or you think you're in a position where you can't get it, which makes no damn sense to think you can't get it, you're a fool. You can get tainted blood. You might need a transfusion. You might get sick. You might get a disease. Anything can happen to you. Or you might sleep with the wrong person. You might go out there and get you some strange kitty cat and find yourself HIV positive. God forbid you take it home to your wife, Mr. Lee. You are a man. People make mistakes. This is why we all have to stand account for our ways. And yes, I'm going to keep it real during this live stream because you know I do. Oh, sorry to hear that, dear. Sex, the feeling, naturally is not the same with a condom on. We know this, okay? We know it's not the same as being without. And a lot of men don't like wearing condoms because of the feeling. And then you have to think about the condom size. Some men are well endowed. The condoms just don't work. So they need a bigger condom. So now naturally you're going to have to pay for a bigger condom. Don't know the prices of bigger size condoms, but anywho. And sometimes they're not comfortable for the woman. She don't care for the condoms. They don't feel good. But this is the price you pay for not wearing the condom and not allowing the man to wear a condom. And I think we all know this. Let's go to Atlanta, Georgia. This content was uploaded a month ago. Now, where is it at? Now I don't see it. Oh, there it is. Atlanta News First is the source, everybody. So we're going to leave Tennessee and hop on over to Georgia, which is right next door to Tennessee. Uptick of HIV cases down there. Now, naturally, there are a lot of men down there who are on the down low and also openly gay and bisexual. As I've always heard the running joke, Queen, you don't want to come down here? They don't like women down here. It's a terrible joke, but I hear it all the time. Don't come to Georgia because there's nothing but gay men down here. Lord have mercy. Help me, Jesus.
Daddy was going to come back in it.
1 second.
Eye-opening numbers about HIV rates right here in the metro. Numbers from the Atlanta-based CDC show we have the 3rd highest rate of new HIV cases in the entire country. Atlanta News First.
So think about this. HIV, I guess, it's like playing hopscotch. A year ago, it was Memphis. They were the 3rd in the country. Now this content is a month ago coming out of Atlanta. They're the 3rd. So last year it was Memphis as 3rd in the country. Stay woke now. 1 year ago in Memphis, Tennessee, HIV cases were the 3rd highest in the country a year ago in Memphis, Tennessee. Now you jump over to our neighboring state of Georgia. Georgia is now, Atlanta area, whatever, is 3rd in the country. But yet I just watched your content talking about an uptick of cases in Shelby County, Memphis, Tennessee. So what are the stats versus Memphis, Tennessee, the state of Tennessee, and Atlanta and the state of Georgia. What are the stats? And naturally, they're never going to be accurate because many people don't get tested. You can only go by somebody actually testing, and they compute the number into the database. But imagine the people who have not been tested and they're walking around HIV positive, and you don't have those numbers.
Atlanta Montgomery is live at the Fulton County Government Center where they work to stop the spread of the virus. So, Madeline, an HIV positive man wants people to know there is help out there.
He really wants to encourage people to go ahead and get tested because he had no idea he was sick when he got tested. And when he did, he found out that he was close to death. And so now he wants people to take their lives into their own hands.
It's been 21 years since Barry Sermons made a spontaneous decision that saved his life.
So I had a sickle cell test, I had a hearing test, and, I had a glaucoma test. And the guy said, hey, come on over to my station. And I had an HIV test, not thinking that it was going to come back in any other way.
He'd been playing music at a health fair and decided he may as well visit the booths in the building. 2 weeks later, he got a call saying he was HIV positive.
It was very difficult, and my heart dropped into my stomach.
It's a scary diagnosis that more and more people are getting, according to the Centers for Disease Control. Atlanta's metro area had over 1,500 new cases in 2021. Why are those numbers picking up?
I think a lot of young people don't have that fear factor.
Jeff Cheek is the director for Fulton County's Department of HIV Elimination. He believes healthcare costs contribute to Atlanta's rising HIV numbers. There are entities that test for free, like the health department.
Prevention partners are funded by the CDC, and they do great work getting people tested. What our key is now is making sure that if you get tested, we get you into care.
Because many people will test positive and not seek help right away.
They're young, and they think they're invincible. But part of it's, as you were saying, the stigma. I don't want my friends to know. I don't want my parents to see my pills. I don't want to have to stop and take medication so that everyone's going to know.
Getting help right away saved Sermons.
I was down to about 150 pounds. My skin tone had changed. I was dying if I didn't get treated.
Wow.
There are so many different resources that folks can get their hands on that are actually free. You can get tested for free. You can get treatment for free. You can even get medication that will help prevent you catching HIV for free. If you want to know more about these resources,
wow.
Link on our website at atlantanewsfirst.com. Reporting live.
All right, Atlanta News First. So they have meds for free, testing for free, and also preventive meds so you don't get HIV. Wow. So wonderful news. And as you heard this man, Mr. Sermons, he was near death when he found out he had HIV many moons ago. He is now alive by the grace of God and the fact that he had the fortitude to follow through. As you heard in this commentary, some people will get tested, find out they're HIV positive, but they don't follow through with getting meds and seeking care. So naturally, you can't assume that you're going to continue on in a healthy manner if you're not getting the meds. And I get it. A lot of people do feel like they're invincible out here. So whether it's HIV or cancer or leukemia or the common cold, I'm all right. I'm good. I'm Gucci. Can't bet on that. Prayers for all of us. Because in this world, we need trust. And a lot of the problems with the HIV, venereal diseases, it's all about trust. And you're hoping that the person that you're with, let's, speak for those who are in relationships, so they think. You're betting that that person is being honest with you and being forthright in their behavior. So if you're with someone that's out here picking up strange kitty cat and ding dong, excuse my language, you're going to have a problem. So basically, you're gambling with your life every time you have sex with someone, whether you are married, you're dating, you're engaged, you assume you're in a monogamous relationship. And I can just honestly tell you, from my experience, on and off the date site, meeting people in general, different places, a lot of the men, one, do not want a relationship. A lot of the men do not want to use condoms. And that's where you have the problem. Because you can't change the mindset. And that's what our great Governor Bill Lee needs to understand. You can go on and on all damn day about this person, that person. You're trying to compete with this wealthy person and that wealthy person. That shit don't have nothing to do with sick people. And I think maybe Governor Bill Lee may have a problem with transgendered people. I don't want to say something that's incorrect, but that might be his problem. Well, I don't know nothing about it, so it don't concern me. I ain't out here having sex with different people, blah, blah, blah. I ain't gay, I ain't bisexual, so it don't affect me. There's no such thing. Because we have seen many cases of older people, older than Queen, becoming HIV positive because they trust the person that they're talking to. They're assuming, well, I'm 62, 63, I ain't sleeping around. I like this guy, I like this lady. They look clean. But that doesn't mean anything. That's the same mentality of a 20-year-old, a 30-year-old, a 40-year-old. Looks don't mean nothing. That has nothing to do with what's inside of the penis, what's inside of the vagina, what's inside of the bloodstream. You don't know people. You don't know what they got going on. And we have learned with men carrying diseases that usually men go asymptom, especially when it comes to venereal diseases. So a woman can have sex with a guy in 2 or 3 days, she starts getting symptoms of a discharge, burning, whatever. A guy, he might go 2 to 3 weeks. He don't have any symptoms. This is why a lot of guys pass diseases, because they don't have any symptoms. And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of men go asymptom when carrying venereal diseases. So they are out here sleeping with this one, sleeping with that one, on the down low, wide open, bisexual, whatever they into, and no condom. And he think he's all right because he ain't got no sores, no breakout, no discharge, no burning. You can't bet on that. You can't bet on that. That's my content, everybody. Pertaining to Shelby County, they have an outbreak of HIV at the current moment. And right now, they're not releasing the stats. And as you heard with this information from Atlanta, Georgia, they are putting themselves at number 3 in the country for HIV cases, when last year Memphis said they were number 3 in the state with HIV cases. So who's the lead in the HIV cases? I don't know. But if you think you have it, you're starting to feel sick, getting a cold, can't get over the cold, I say you need to go to the doctor and you need to get that little test, get your little finger pricked. It's better to be safe than sorry. That's all I'm going to say. Life is short. I'm going to go back to my article and bring you the area codes of the places with the uptick. A lot of area codes down there in Shelby County. Woo! I mean, it's a hot butter mess. This is from May 13th of this year. The Shelby County Health Department has noted a recent alarming increase in newly diagnosed cases of HIV in our community. This increase impacts persons of all ages, but the incidence is highest among persons age 14 to 35. So as I said before, 14-year-old don't got no damn business having sex. Children don't have no business having sex. I don't recommend children having sex. No, 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 and no. And that's a horrible number, 14 to 35. Damn. So imagine a child getting sick or getting routine blood work for a checkup, and then the doctor has to come back in to tell a 14-year-old child with his mother, her mother, oh, by the way, I need to tell you something. Everything looks good except for your child is HIV positive. What? You know, mama getting ready to show out. She's ready to fight her child because her child got HIV. This is a wake-up call. This is why I keep saying children don't have no business having sex. The girls don't look like young girls anymore. Young boys don't look like young boys. You got pedophile sickos out here. They're looking at kids in that way. You see these guys, tongue hanging out their mouth when they see a girl with big boobs and big tail, and they just falling all over themselves. Don't even know that's a child walking by in booty shorts and thongs. Don't care. She 14? I ain't gonna tell nobody. He's 16? I ain't gonna tell nobody. Till you end up with a fucking charge and you're arrested for statutory rape. You carried in. People better wake up. Let's get those zip codes and then I'm out of here. Thank you for joining me. This is live number 2, everybody. Lord have mercy. The commercial appeal is sourced if you're curious to this information. These are the zip codes down in Shelby County, Memphis, Tennessee, with the highest cases of HIV. 38103, 38105, 38106, 38107, 38108, 38109, 38114, 38118, 38116, and 38127. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 damn zip codes in Shelby County. Memphis sits in Shelby County. So that's other area codes that's possibly in the city and or maybe in the county. Okay? That ain't good. Because like any demographic, Tennessee sits next door to Arkansas, Memphis, Georgia, Alabama, Kentucky. We are like any state. States sit next door to states, beside a state, on top of a state, under a state. So Memphis is no different. Also, way down in the bottom of the corner, Missouri touches Tennessee. Shut your mouth. So imagine, as I told you, when you go into the health department and that little stick figure sits at the top of the page, that's you. You're at the top. You're that one stick figure, and then the stick figure goes down to a triangle, and all those triangles of stick figures are the people you slept with. Well, let's just say the stick figure is the person you slept with. Sorry. One person's at the top, and then under that is all the stick figures. Well, the synopsis is, those are all the people you slept with last night when you slept with one man, one woman, okay? That's it. 63 people. So in your mind, you're telling yourself, well, I only slept with him one time. I only slept with him last night. I ain't slept with nobody in 5 months, 6 months. Okay, it don't matter. That one fella, he done slept with this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. And then whoever he slept with, they done slept with this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Do you understand what I'm saying? So God forbid, you sleep with a guy, and he might be the only guy you've been sleeping with. But you don't know who he's been sleeping with and who those people have been sleeping with. And so it's just a triangle, just a circle. So it don't matter about you. You say, well, I got me. I ain't sleeping with a whole lot of different people. I'm only sleeping with this one guy, this one lady. Well, you don't know who they are sleeping with. And the people who they have slept with, so on and so forth. And obviously here in the South, we have a problem. And we're just going to keep it real. It is obvious that the people here in the South do not want to adhere to monogamous relationships. They want some strange sex. They got to have somebody new. And I know people who are like this, especially men. They don't mind the hopping around. And I think some women, you know, they'll have a fling here, a fling there. But the point is, I think a lot of women, they want a monogamous relationship. But they meet these men who they see don't want to be monogamous. So what starts off as a couple of weeks of talking to somebody or have a fling, and you're still trying to get in the know and chase and hunt, and then you see, well, he don't want nothing. Then before you know it, he's put on the back burner, and now you're talking to Joe 3 weeks later, a month later. Now you're back in the saddle. And then the vicious cycle starts all over again. trying to get to know him, see what he's about. God forbid you have a fling. And before you know it, you're tallying up men. Stay woke, ladies. It's no different than what the man is doing. He's out fucking and screwing with no intention of being monogamous, no intention of having a relationship with you. He's just picking up strange over here, over there, the date site, Facebook, IG. That's why a lot of the men get in your Facebook and IG. They don't want you. They ain't interested in you. They're not trying to be your Facebook friend. A lot of people friend you just so they can see if they can bait you. Queen woke. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing, new Facebook friend? How you doing? I'm all right. How you doing? Then next thing you know, the conversation goes from how you doing to what you like. Huh? What kind of men you like? When the last time you talked to somebody? Oh, I see where this is going. A queen ain't interested. Because when you deal with one fool, or then dealt with a fool, off and on continuously, you already know what to expect from a new fool. You understand what I'm saying? You already know. You know the signs. Start out with the compliments. Oh, you're so pretty. You're so soft. You smell so good. I've been noticing you. I see your little pictures when you're going out. Then God forbid you give him a little kitty cat and then it's all downhill. Now he can't answer the phone. So you sitting here looking at yourself like, what the hell? Baby, I ain't 22. I ain't 32. Not trying to chase you, boo-boo. Because they don't want anything. So when you topple in, as I said, the men, women not wanting relationships, don't want to be monogamous, in relationships, got this one, that one. We still have men who are on the down low, don't want to be honest about the sexuality. And we have some men who do like men and women. We have women who like men and women. That's where you're going to have a problem, the bouncing around. Because I see it all the time, even with women, especially some women here in Knoxville. They get down. Do you hear me? 1 minute that heifer with a woman, and she posting pictures with a female, and next thing you know, she talking shit and mumbling and talking in limericks and stuff, and we like, baby, what's the problem? Now she in a picture with Joe. And so folks start getting confused. Well, damn, heifer, you were just on Facebook with a girl. I said that about somebody I know recently, last year. Got out of jail. She posted pictures with a cutie pie. She wouldn't show the girl's face, but she would show like her tattoos. So I was like, you shouldn't be doing that. That's what I'm thinking to myself. Let's see, she young and she dumb. Posting pictures of the girl in the bed sleeping. And I told myself this is going to backfire. Queen woke, baby. I let them young people know Queen was not born yesterday. I know people. You posting pictures of somebody you just met. And Leslie met her in jail while you was incarcerated. You're going to bring her straight out the jailhouse to your house. You got kids. Dumb, 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 dumb. Taking pictures of her lying in the bed. Dumb, 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 dumb. And I tell you, my right hand to God, I don't believe it was 2 months later, she was talking shit on IG. You know, like, oh, you think I'm a fool and da-da-da-da. I said, oh, must be trouble in paradise. This is why you can't post stuff to Facebook, IG when you first meet people. Don't post their picture. Don't take pictures of their arm, their leg, their chest. Because people read between the lines, oh, he got him something new. She got her something new. You need to wade through the water, spend time with the person, get to know the person, see what they're about before posting them to social media. Some of y'all might think it's a little bit off topic, but I'm just keeping it real. Because this is also a part of this HIV nonsense as well, okay? Hooking up with folks, thinking they might want to have a relationship, but we already know sex is not the start to a relationship. Now, many people have built a relationship from sex, but I think it's still rare. I think if a person really likes you, they are willing to wait. Now, a lot of men are not willing to wait for sex 3-4 months. As Steve Harvey instructed, you wait at least 3 months, 6 months or so. The average man just is not about to wait 3 months. He definitely ain't about to wait 6. Even the nicest of a man probably is not going to wait no 3 months. I'm just saying. But that's the risk you take. Giving up your goodies, your sugar mama. Because, hey, like they say, she go. You give her up, you can't get her back. And God forbid, whatever else you're doing under the sheets, oh, he done got comfortable. He like, oh, she doing this, this, and this. But it doesn't mean he respects you. It doesn't mean he's going to be faithful. Doesn't mean he wants a relationship. Because, see, people will tell you anything so they can get your sugar mama or get your Roy. Oh, you're pretty, you're this, you're that. I like the way you look, you smell good. Honey, I'm telling you something about Queen. You'll be surprised the people that have Queen, honey. I get them from everywhere. But it doesn't mean anything. I do attract a lot of younger men. Okay? But the point is, most men, younger, older, my age, or older than Queen, they don't want nothing. I've met them 50, 60, 40, 30, 20s, late 20s. Why in the world would I think a 28-year-old man is going to be faithful to a 53-year-old woman? He's 30-something. He's not going to be faithful to me. He's 40. He's not going to be faithful to me. He's 50 plus. He's not going to be faithful to me. And I'm just calling a spade a spade. Is there a faithful man out there? Possibly so. But I have not met one. Game, recognized game. And these 50-year-olds, 40-year-olds, they still got game. And they're going to keep spewing that game so long as they have a willing participant. And that's just life. I can't do no more than what you allow me. So if you allow that buster in there, talking sweet and running sweet game and playing hopscotch with you and don't answer, don't call, don't take you out, don't want to do anything nice for you, you already know, okay, well, he don't want nothing. Let me keep it moving. Let me block, delete. And you're just going to have to keep it moving. Now, as for free sex, we're all grown. If you're watching this live stream, you're fully grown. You're entitled to sleep with whomever you want to sleep with. My recommendation, though, is that you be honest. If you do not want a commitment, please let that be known when you are in somebody's inbox and you exchange your phone number. I like you. I like what I see. I'm attracted to you, but I do not want a commitment. I'm just dating. I'm just doing me. I do pick up strange sex. Tell the truth. I do pick up strange sex. I'm also bisexual. I'm also trans. Whatever it is you got going on, just tell it. A person will respect you. Just tell the truth. Nobody needs to be digging through cell phones and data trying to find out what you got going on, what you're doing. That, to me, is a waste of time being found out. Just tell the truth. I like men. I like women. On Thursdays, I like women. On Saturday, I like men. Sometimes I like menage a trois, whatever. Because a lot of men in this area, they love some threesomes. Did you hear what I said? Woo! Yes, Lord. And I done said it about Puff Diddy and all his entanglements. Ain't nobody pulling out no condom in no damn threesome. Who? Who gonna pull out a condom in a threesome? I'll wait. Nobody. Hold on a minute. Let me reach over here and get this condom. They ain't using condom in the porn videos. Did you hear that? You think somebody's still using condoms in the porn videos? Maybe some. But you know that they don't, because they'll say, well, we get a check every 3 months, blah, blah, blah. What you getting checked for if you wearing a condom? Okay. Exactly. So the rules are the same if it's the porn industry or regular folks. You dilly and dallying, menage a trois, swinging, whatever you into, you ain't about to make Queen believe in a case of multiple people having sex in a room that somebody is saying, now you make sure you have a condom, Johnny, and Peter, you make sure you have a condom. Joe, you make sure you have a condom. and everybody's slapping fluids and all that. Come on now. Come on. No. So why I believe that? Heat of the moment. No different than when it's two. Heat of the moment. Somebody gets excited. He's turned on, she's turned on. Before you know it, boom. Clothes off, kissing, whatever. Ain't nobody digging in their pocketbook, under the mattress, none of that. And once you penetrate it, it's a wrap. Just keeping it real. That's my content. Well, thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful weekend. When I get more information pertaining to this uptick of HIV cases in Shelby County, Memphis, Tennessee, I'll bring you an update. I pray that the governor will take heed to this new information, and he will take any money that wants to be offered to the state of Tennessee from the CDC or whomever. Take the money, honey. Because in the end, it's not about you, Governor Bill Lee. It's about the people who have been affected. And nobody should miss out on getting help and resources because the governor has his thumb up his ass and he's got a point to prove. Leave the politics out of it. Leave the politics out of it. This is not a white, black person issue. This is not a Democrat, Republican issue. This is a people issue because anybody can get HIV. A child, a newborn, an adult, an elderly person. No one is exempt from becoming HIV positive and getting AIDS. All you have to do is sleep with a person who is infected or get a blood transfusion with infected blood. Share a dirty needle. These are the ways to get HIV. Good night, sweetheart. Thank you all so much for joining me. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below. Please check out the Queen Shorts. And if you'd like to donate to this great network, $ Big Angie, 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. Please check out my earlier content pertaining to Sebastian Rogers and his biological parents, step-parent, Tony Mathis, and the invisible unicorns, because that case is filled with them. Thank you. I'll be back tomorrow with more stimulating content. Got to pick out me another topic because I decided to go ahead and do this one tonight and get it over with. Tomorrow I'll probably talk about Puffy Combs and Britney Spears. Britney Spears uploaded some content over IG over the weekend. She deleted that content. Some people feel like maybe she's in distress and having some issues. So we're going to talk about Britney Spears and what's going on with her. And then we're going to talk about Puff Daddy. He has sold his 50 Cent has sold his Puff Daddy documentary to Netflix. So we're going to talk about that in the next live. And once again, check out my shorts because they seem to be popular now. And a lot of people really like that 15 seconds of hoorah pertaining to breaking news and entertainment. And I appreciate those who have been checking out my shorts. YouTube only gives you 15 seconds to give folks the business. So right now, that's where I'm at with 15 seconds. 15 seconds, Dougie Fresh, 15 seconds. So that's what I got. I give you the business under 15 seconds. Unlike these winded live streams, but I appreciate the support, the love, the commenting. You all giving me your commentary. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much. Feel free to go back to the beginning of this live to get the information coming out of Memphis, Tennessee. And when I get an update, I will bring it to you. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. You have been listening to The Vaults XL. Thank you, Brooke. Brooke, wait, how you falling in here all late, girl? Look, where you been? What Wendy used to say, how you doing? You came in late with a cape and everything. You supposed to have been in here, girl. I like the shorts too because it's to the point. And you all won't believe how many takes I do to make them damn 15-second shorts. It is work. I might do 5-6 takes because some of the content is winded and I'm trying to put all of that in 15 seconds and remember what I'm saying verbatim, and you should see me doing 5, 6, 7 takes just for a 15-second short. So I see how hard it is in Hollywood when they're doing all those takes for a scene in a movie, 30 takes for one scene. That's time consuming. And you know, when I filmed that Dolly Parton movie a few years ago, as many of you remember, 2 years or so ago, that was daunting. And we must have done 13 takes for the end of the movie, where we're standing on the staircase at the end of the movie, where they're in the town center singing and the snow's falling. That was about 13 times running out that damn door to stand on those stairs. And then at the end of the movie, I can't even see myself. I'm like, all them takes we did, I can't see Queen. Because the camera, it was so far back. You couldn't even see me. I couldn't make out anybody on those stairs that I was standing next to. Now, you will see the Queen at the beginning of the movie. They got 2 shots of the Queen in the casino. Magic Mountain Christmas, check me out. That's that. You could take up to 1 minute in shorts, Queen. Well, when I go into the shorts, it only says 15 seconds. I was wondering about that. Because I know I've watched some shorts that were longer than 15 seconds, I thought. Well, if I upload a video, yeah, I can do 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes if I upload a short video. But in the shorts, on the screen, it's only like 15 seconds. What y'all talking about down there? Oh, Pinto lost a pet. Well, we'll be praying for you, honey. Kick back, watch a good movie. I think tonight I'm going to treat myself. First, I'm going to treat myself to some ice cream that I don't need. I haven't even had dinner. These lives mess up my dinner schedule. And I got to get off of this going late lives, going too long live. It messes with my dinner time. But I want to watch that Karen movie. My friend, he was like, oh, it's free on Tubi. I said, it's not free on Tubi. So I think it's on Prime or something. So I'm going to go ahead and pay for it tonight. I'm going to treat myself. Order me a movie. You all know I get snuggly wuggly. I take a shower. Look, I'm telling all my business on the live stream. Honey, Queen has a ritual. I have to take a shower, get under the covers with me a nice little toddy, and then I turn me on a movie. And I have not watched me a good movie since what? The other night, I watched this crazy black movie on Tubi. Oh, it's called The Landlord. That's my suggestion for this weekend. If you are bored tonight, you want something crazy to watch, it's a black movie. I believe it's filmed in Detroit because they're filming a lot of movies out of Detroit now. A lot of black production companies. Honey, this movie is crazy as hell. This black lady wears yellow throughout the entire movie. That's her favorite color, and that's what she wears every day, yellow. Well, anyway, she's trying to find somebody to rent her house, and this young lady is living with her boyfriend, and she's tired of living with him because they're not together anymore, but she's still living in his house, and he's bringing in other women. So her friends are like, hey, you need to get you a place. One of them say, I'll pay your rent for 6 months, just find a place. So the lady in yellow at the little coffee house where they frequent offered her a place to stay, and it goes from there. She's always popping up, unannounced, intrusive, the little landlord, and I ain't gonna tell you the rest, but it's good. It's pretty good. Some of those movies are low budget, them black movies, but some are okay. You just gotta watch them and, decide if it's, to your liking, but it's okay. It's still got a little low budget feel to it, but it's got an interesting plots, especially when you get to the ending, because the ending is gonna be, it's not gonna be what you expect. You're gonna be like, what the? So I like movies like that. You think you know who the person is that's doing the evil stuff, and then you get that double twist of like, damn, I didn't see that coming. So it's got that kind of twist. Well, Godric, I'll check into it about the shorts, but I do know that when you upload videos, if you just, go into your regular phone, you can have, I remember YouTube had something about they weren't monetizing anything that was under like 7 minutes or something like that a while ago, a couple years ago. They had changed the format that it had to be so many minutes long before it could be up for monetization. So it's been a while since I uploaded videos. So now I do the shorts because I should have been doing shorts all along. And obviously I realize I get more viewership on hot topics. You know, anything about Puff Diddy, 50 Cent, anything about entertainers, you get more views because people like to know what the hell they're doing. Well, anytime, Pinto, anytime. That's it. You know what they should have? You know, like how they have that, those workshops for comics. People that like comics, they meet up every year at a convention center. They should have one for YouTube. Let the YouTubers, let the fans meet the YouTubers at a convention center. That'd be interesting. That'd probably be a disaster too, because all you'd have is some crazy motherfuckers trying to follow you out to your damn car and follow you home. Follow you back to your damn hotel so they can make some live streams. Because with this group that's up here that talk about true crime, oh hell no. I wouldn't want to have nothing to do with none of them. No. I've had some weird experiences dealing with people up here on YouTube and others. And I just say, best you keep it copacetic. How you doing? Keep it moving. Yeah, I see that, Godric. I see that. My subscriber list has gone up just in the past 2 or 3 days. I've noticed that about 100 plus people in maybe 2 or 3 days. So you're absolutely right on that. Absolutely right. It also helps when other creators share your content, such as AB. I've gotten a lot of subscribers from AB, his chat, in the past couple of months. Because, you know, YouTube is a funny business. You say something somebody don't like, they unsubscribe. If they think you're being mean, they unsubscribe. If you rally with another YouTuber or you don't say something they don't like, you know, something about the content, they think you're favoring certain people in the storyline, especially when you talk about true crime, they'll unsubscribe. As I look back a few years ago, I had Q Carlock on my channel, and I got so many people unsubscribed just because I let that woman come up on the panel to talk about Summer Wells and that GoFundMe bullshit. And I just thought myself, these people are wacko out here. 1 minute I'm mean because I don't let certain people talk or I don't agree with them. But then I let this woman come up on my panel. Don't mean I was in agreement with her. I just let her talk because she was backstage and she wanted to defend herself from this woman in the UK who was accusing her of fraud. So I had every right to let her come up and defend herself. Whether I liked her or not, I still let her have a voice. So this is why I tell you people are hypocritical that watch YouTube. Because they complain about the stupidest stuff. They do. They complain about the stupidest stuff. You know, 1 minute you're a villain because you won't agree with them. You're a villain if you won't let somebody come up on the panel. You're a villain if you disagree with somebody on the panel. Well, I'm the hostess of the show. I don't have to agree with what they're saying. And even if I let them come on the panel, it does not mean I agree with what they're saying. And then the one moment you let somebody come up on the panel and speak, because the lady said, well, I was watching, I was going through the queue and I saw, you know, what the lady was saying and I want to, you know, give my side of the story. And I let her have that moment. And all these people unsubscribed just because I let her come on the panel. And I told people, if she wanted to be a defrauder of the Summer Wells, you know, money, when she did the fundraiser on her channel, she could have kept all of the money. She didn't have to turn in $1 damn. And that's what people don't understand. You know, you're talking about turning in about $37,000. So if I was a crook, let's say, and I did a fundraiser on my channel, and I said, well, send me money to my Cash App, and I'm going to turn that money into the bank, whatever. I don't have to turn the money in. Come on now. And I tell people that. You're bitching and moaning about that GoFundMe, blah, blah, blah. I said, she didn't have to turn in $1 damn. And you all was stupid to donate money and then later complain about it. Because the point is, once you send somebody money, I don't care where you send the money, to the bank, to a Cash App, PayPal, whatever. Once it's sent, it's gone. And it does not mean the person's going to do with the money what they say. So just like the GoFundMes, you might put up a GoFundMe for a funeral. Your mother died, so you need money. You don't know that that money's going to go on a funeral. They might go buy a new car. They might go pay their mortgage. So all those people that get in the chat and talk all that shit about, oh, I don't care where the money goes, like with the Sebastian case. Oh, I don't care where the money goes. Oh, you would care if you found out they did something extravagant with the money. They didn't buy flyers. They didn't pay their mortgage. Okay? Somebody bought a motorcycle or a fucking Corvette. You a lie. You sit up and say, oh, I don't care. So then what are you donating to then if you don't care? See, people contradict themselves. Somebody tell you they need money for a funeral, you're expecting them to do just that. Because I feel like it is fraud. Now, naturally, the donations start pouring in and it's reaching an astronomical amount, you probably need to cut it off just so you don't get accused for fraud. You say, hey, I need $10,000 to bury my mother. Okay, well, once it gets over 10, and now we getting to 15, now it's at 25,000, that's when people gonna start talking. I thought you said you only need 10,000. The number shows 38,000. See where I'm going? So to cut down the static, cut the damn GoFundMe off. Because then it's gonna look like fraud. Once you reach your number, you go past your number. Same thing with a woman that's homeless. She needed a place to live, apartment. So people started donating money. Okay, started out with one number goes up, go up. Next thing you know, you get probably like $70,000. Okay, well, she got her a nice little nest egg to get herself a place to live, a car for her and her kids. But it's gonna be up to her to decide she wanna cut it off, and the rest is on you because you're the one donating your money. So you do need to know who you're donating to. And that's the thing, you don't know people. People can put up a GoFundMe. It does not mean it's the truth that their mother died, they're sick, they got cancer. We had a woman, I think, down in Loudoun County a few years back, a white lady, she got on social media saying she was sick, she had cancer, and later they found out she did not have cancer. And everybody raised holy hell that sent money in when they found out she had been lying and she was not sick. So this is what I'm saying, you have to be very careful about donating money. You need to know who you're donating to. I'm all for donating money. I do believe in paying it forward. I do believe in helping people. But you also have to know there's a fine line in helping people. Whether it's your time, your money, food, clothes, shoes, toiletries, furniture, whatever it is that you're giving, you have to be very careful. Because a lot of people are on the tape. A lot of people are on the grift, on the grind. And you just have to know that there's a chance that there will be some fraud. That's just the way it is. Why isn't Seth letting people know he has a girlfriend named Michaela? He's not single. He's shady to me. Damn, doctor. Well, I don't know. I mean, he's entitled to date. I mean, he is a man. I've mentioned this before, sweetheart, that while everybody's focusing their attention on the Proudfoots and what was going on in the house, you also have to think about what type of life was Seth going to have with an autistic boy who allegedly couldn't do anything for himself. I said this before. I don't dwell on it all the time in my live streams, but I have said everybody needs to sit back and focus. Because it's not just about the Proudfoots. This is a man who has a penis, who I'm assuming likes women. Okay? So what kind of life was he going to have taking care of a 15 autistic boy? You got to know what kind of people you're going to bring into your circle that wants to deal with you and an autistic child. So you got to think. That's why I tell you people don't really pay attention to the story. They're focusing on different things, but they're not really focusing on everything. They've been together for years. I met them on a search. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know anything about it. Well, maybe she wants to stay out of the way. And I wouldn't blame her for not wanting to be vocal and get into this mischief and mayhem. You always understand that. Because once people start seeing signs that there's a bunch of he said, she said, and let me stay out of this, let me stay back. And I get that, because if I was dating him or dating somebody with a missing child, I probably wouldn't be jumping in the forefront, jumping in front of cameras and jumping in front of the news and jumping on YouTube panels because I may want my life. And if my life is static free, stress free, I don't want that shit. I don't want to have no parts of that. I don't want people following me around. Think about how these YouTubers act. Why would she want that in her life? Why would she want people following her around? Sitting outside her house taking pictures. Because I did hear somebody talking about him in some car. You know, at first it was a motorcycle, then somebody said he was in some car with a girlfriend. I thought they were making jokes. I didn't know what the hell they're talking about. But anywho, he's entitled to date. He's entitled to have a woman. Who he's dating, I don't know nothing about it. But that woman has to know people will loop her into some nonsense and know it wouldn't be fair to her. Because one, we don't know her either. And I personally wouldn't want no parts of this. And I wouldn't want people following me around. I wouldn't want people doxing me. I wouldn't want people sitting outside my job, calling my job, sitting outside my house filming me, because the first thing I have to tell you is I don't have anything to do with what Seth got going on with his son, the Proudfoots, or anybody else. So don't come bothering me, because I don't got nothing to do with it. And this is exactly what I say all the time on my channel, about how you can get yourself wrapped up in some drama because of the company you keep. This is why you have to be careful with the people you liking, dating, talking to. You can have a good whole life, and all it takes is getting involved with one person, and next thing you know, you looped into some damn drama. You're getting your house raided, you're getting arrested, you're getting interrogated. So, you know, it's something to think about, because I have thought about that. Does he date? Does he have a girlfriend? Because I think he had said something about, you know, I don't have time to do anything for myself or date or something. So I was wondering if he was dating. And I would think this would be difficult for a person who was involved with him before or meeting somebody now. Who would want to date somebody like Seth right now? You wouldn't. You'd only get involved with him if you like drama. And it's not to, you know, point fingers at Seth per se, but it's too much static around him right now. And with him jumping on TV all the time, panels, news, it's too much. And this bickering with the Proudfoots, I wouldn't want any part of that. I wouldn't want to be a part of that. Because if you're poking at Seth, you'll be poking at me. And I didn't sign up for that. And I can't see a decent woman wanting to involve herself in this madness. Now, it's not to say that he doesn't deserve love. He doesn't deserve companionship. Of course, he's a man. He's a human being. But the point is, I can't see anybody wanting to get themselves immersed in a case. I mean, get in a relationship with him with all this nonsense going on. And a woman would have to say to him, you know, hey, I didn't sign up for this. I don't want people stalking me, bothering me. We can't go out to eat or to a restaurant. You know, you're jumping on these panels, talking to people and going on and on. I don't want to be a part of that. And a woman would have that right. So be somebody I would be interested in if I was a woman. I'm just saying. Oh, God, can stop it now. Well, he's always in the kitchen. He's always in the same place doing the lives and the, you know, Court TV, News Nation. But he might go to her house. He might go to her house. He might go to her place. That's probably the best bet. He go to her home. Or they might meet in a hotel. I don't know. So you're one of the searchers. Interesting. Well, I just pray that there's an ending. It comes to an end because it's time for it to come to an end. So I pray that law enforcement will bring forward some type of information pertaining to the case and updates, because it'd be nice for them to dispel everything. Godric, now listen at you. Are you in here trolling, putting stuff out? They live together. Only did it one time. So when was the last time that you searched, Godric? Are you a male or a female? May I ask? Are you a male or a female, and when was the last time you searched? That's all I'm asking. Everybody got some information. All right, thank you. Well, that's my content. Thank you for joining me, Doctor. Thank you all for tuning into this live stream. When I get an update pertaining to this dilemma down in Memphis, Tennessee, I'll bring you an update. And please check out my last live pertaining to Sebastian Rogers' parents, Tony Mathis, Unicorns, Illuminati, whoever else want to involve themselves in this nonsense, God willing. Next live stream is pertaining to Puff Daddy and Britney Spears. I'll see you all later. Thank you for your time and thank you for joining me. Thank you for the viewership and subscribing to this network. I really appreciate it. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you so much, honey. Bye-bye. You've been listening to The Vault Excel. Thank you.